think about some.
Go look, because that'll help you understand why we need to change it.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
How, before you just do it, how to,
Hey, all right, Facebook. We on for another show.
Do you need the light?
No, only if you need it. You need it?
Uh-oh.
What it look like to you?
1 second, let me see. And then make sure your volume on your phone is all the way up.
Okay. Uh-oh. All right. Cool. All right. Hi, Facebook. We're on doing what we do. Got another show for you.
All right. I'm ready when you are.
Okay. All right, make sure you get your pen and paper and all that good stuff. Take some notes. We're going to make some good things happen tonight. Thanks for being on. I do appreciate it. Hey, while you're looking at me, go to IntellectualRadio.com. Hit the subscribe button there for me. And hit the bell so you'll be notified of not any, of all of our shows that we have here Sunday through Saturday. Here on IntellectualRadio.com. Do appreciate you all being on. All right. Oh, where my clock at? Set this real quick. All right, I'm ready. Testing, good. Testing.
One more time for me.
Testing.
Yes, we're good.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
5, 4, 3, 2.
And welcome to a Greater You show here on IntellectualRadio.com. And I'm your host, Dr. Anthony L. Gant, here for another show. Again, this is IntellectualRadio.com, the station that feeds your brain. And we are an iHeart station. So anywhere you get your podcast, you can listen to us. We have shows Sunday through Saturday throughout the day, morning, afternoons, and evenings. Anytime you want, you can come listen to IntellectualRadio.com and you can hear some exciting shows. What I'd like you to do, for those that's new and those who haven't done it yet, I want you to hit the subscribe button there on IntellectualRadio.com and also hit the bell so you're notified of all the shows that we have here going Sunday through Saturday. Again, I'm sure it's about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shows that you have a liking to that you probably want to look at on a weekly basis. And also you can go back and look at some of the other shows or some hosts that you like or some shows that you like. You can just type that in on IntellectualRadio.com and then you can look at all the shows, that particular host show. So if you know the name of the host or know the name of the show, you can actually go back and look at some of their shows. We have shows here for a long time. So we'd love for you to be a part of what we have going on here at IntellectualRadio.com. So, again, this is a Greater You show, a self-help show, self-help book club, self-help coaching session, all wrapped into one. And so we actually talk about a different topic every series, and then every session we talk about a certain part of that topic. But before we get started, I'd like to do something that I like to do for people. I'm going to promote someone in their business here today. And if you'd like to get promoted on this show here, or my other show, Great Business Skills, you can just get in contact with me at fullofpurposemedia@gmail.com. Again, that's fullofpurposemedia@gmail.com. So the person I'm going to promote tonight is Mr. Emmett Farmer. Are you 65 and older or know someone who is in need of Medicare assistance? Mr. Emmett Farmer is a licensed life and health insurance producer and an independent insurance broker. He can be reached at 773-908-9425 or efarmer2, the number 2, efarmer2 at ameritech.net. Again, Mr. Emmett Winfrey specializes in Medicare plans for seniors 65 and older. Also, if you are disabled and have Medicare, he can help you as well. He is licensed in the state of Illinois, Texas, and in the process of being licensed in many other states also. If you are 65 and older, or if you will become 65 within the next 6 to 12 months, please contact Mr. Emmy Farmer again to learn more about your available options. Again, that's 773-908-9425, 773-908-9425, or efarmer2, E-F-A-R-M-E-R, the number 2, efarmer2 at ameritech.net. You will get a free consultation by mentioning that you have heard about Mr. Emmy Farmer and his business here on the Greater You Show here on IntellectualRadio.com and iHeart Station with the host, Dr. Anthony L. Gant. So please get in contact with him so you can learn some things about what you have, what's available. So again, this is the Greater You Show and the self-help show, a self-help book club, and also a coaching session, all wrapped into one. And folks that may be new to me and new to IntellectualRadio.com, every series we do an actual topic, and in that topic we do sessions, maybe 3, 4, 5 sessions on that particular topic, and before we go to the next series. So this series is based on self-esteem, how to build healthy self-esteem, and we're in part 4 today. And we always come from a book that I've written on that particular topic, and the book that I've written on that topic is a book called I Love Me, how to build strategies for how to build healthy self-esteem. If you'd like to purchase the book, you can get in contact with me at fullpurposemedia@gmail.com, and then we get that together for you so we can get that book out to you as quickly as possible. So I always do a recap again for those that's new to me, and if you missed the last session, you know where we are. So session 1, we talked about how important it was to love yourself, and how that you should tell yourself every day that you love you, and you shouldn't wait around for people to tell you that they love you, even though there may be some people that do. Sometimes we just kind of forget to tell people, and so you want to hear that at least once a day, and so you should hear from yourself, and how that it's important to understand what your self-esteem is, and how that equates to you loving yourself. We said esteem has the word esteem itself means high value. So you have esteem, and I have esteem or self-esteem. We all have it. That means we all have high value. Now, in other words, you probably can't have low high value. That almost sounds like an oxymoron. But we can have unhealthy self-esteem. So anything that's unhealthy, we can nurse it back to health to make sure it's healthier. And so that's something that we talked about in session 2, and that you had to, session 1 came from lesson 2. We talked about how you price yourself and put a value on yourself. And not so much price yourself like putting money value, but we use that as an example. That if you don't put people only required to pay the price you set on you, you set a low price on you, people only required to pay that price. You set a high price on you, people are required to pay that price. And sometimes people are not going to pay the price that you have set on you because they may think it's worth too much. It costs too much. I don't want to pay that. And that's okay. That's their prerogative of not wanting to pay it, but that doesn't mean that you stay around. So that was session 1 coming out of lesson 2. Session 2, we came out of pretty much lesson 3, and we talked about your mental stability and how those things are important, and how you have to make sure that you're mentally stable, and your mentality. We talked about your emotions and things of that nature, because a lot of times when people ask you something, they ask you how do you feel, and really self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. It's not how other people feel about you. That's how other people esteem about you. That's not self-esteem. However, it's how you feel about yourself. And sometimes we don't feel that good about ourselves for various reasons, and then that's a true proof that self-esteem has been damaged. And we need to nurse it back to health so we can feel better about ourselves. And so we came out of lesson 3 in session 2. In session 3, we came out of lesson 4, and we talked about your opinion, how important your opinion about yourself matters. And we said that your opinion about yourself should matter more than anybody else's opinion about you, that they have. Everybody won't have a favorable opinion about you, and that's okay. But we can't allow their opinion about us to be more valuable than our opinion about ourselves. So you want to make sure that your opinion is always above anybody else's opinion about you. And we talked about a hierarchy. First, I'm no theologian, so this is not a quote-unquote religious program, but I do believe in God. I know a lot of other people do. So, we all say God's opinion about you is first, then your opinion about you is second. Then everybody else, they can fight for number 3 and all those, 3, 4, 5, 10, 28, or whatever, right? But you never want to get out of position number 2 and try to get in position number 1. and you never want to get out of position number 2 and be any less than and go beyond that. So the reason being, sometimes we allow the opinions of other people to have impact on the value we have on ourselves. So we don't feel good about ourselves, and mama, daddy, sister, brother, husband, wife, people across the street, old people, young people. If their opinion about us is a certain way, we start dictating our lives to their opinions. And we're not saying that they're bad people and everything, but your opinion about yourself must rule and reign over anybody else's opinion about you. Otherwise, your self-esteem is going to be damaged, and you're going to be an unhealthy person because you're going to have unhealthy self-esteem. So those are the things we kind of did. That's a recap on what we talked about. So today we're talking about, we're going to come from lesson 5 in the book, and we're going to talk about anger and also forgiveness. And one of the ways that you can make sure you can have your self-esteem can be damaged is by being angry at someone. If you're angry at someone, what ends up happening is that what ends up happening is that you end up damaging your self-esteem. And when your self-esteem is damaged, one thing you'll find out that you're angry. Now, when you're angry at someone, then
you wanted to comment on his show.
When you're angry at someone, and when we're angry pretty much at three things. One, it could be once when you're angry at people, or you could be angry at people, or you can be angry at yourself, or you can be angry at situations or circumstances that's going on. So since that's the case, and you're angry at these three things, most times we're angry at ourselves. We're angry at maybe we might have treated someone bad or wrong. We might be angry because we allow someone else to treat us bad or wrong. But many times we're mad at ourselves because we treated ourselves wrong. So what has to happen is that when our self-esteem gets bad, then we treat ourselves worse, and then we usually become more angry. And see, what happens is sometimes we're so angry at people. We can be angry at parents, we can be angry at children, spouses, friends, pastors, members, bosses, employees, all these different people. And we could be angry. And we might be justified sometime in our anger. That somebody did me wrong, right? And maybe they did do you wrong. Maybe they did step on your toes, which is not a good thing, but they stepped on your toes, and that was wrong. And you have a right to be angry. What we don't want to do is make a lifestyle, and we just stay angry because somebody has stepped on our foot, right? So here's the problem a lot of us have. See, when we're angry, we're mad. My mom used to always joke and say, people don't get mad, dogs get mad. But sometimes I was just call me Deputy Dog because I was mad at folks, right? Because I like the way they did me. But here's the thing. None of us are perfect, right? All of us go through this life, and sometimes we do other people wrong, or maybe we make them mad, and they're mad at us, right? They're angry at us for maybe something we did to them or something we didn't do. This especially is something that happened a lot in relationships, whether they're friendships or whether they're, intimate relationships or, husband, wife, whatever it may be. And these things happen a lot because, you didn't do what I want you to do. So I'm angry, right? Or you did do this and I don't like what you did and I'm angry. So a lot of times we have all this anger, and what we do is kind of transfer this anger from one person or one situation in our life, and we just bring it to the next person or the next situation of our lives. And a lot of times, insensitive people will say things like, get over that, right? This happened to you at 15 years old. Get over that. Well, that's easy to say when it didn't happen to you, right? And sometimes what may be a cut to you may be a stab to me. Yeah, you might have had the same situation, but you got a cut on the arm. I had the same situation, but I got stabbed in the chest. Well, I can't get over it as quickly as you can get over. You can put a Band-Aid on yours. I need to go get heart surgery on me, right? And see, sometimes when you don't love yourself and you don't understand that with people you meet, you may say, well, just because you didn't go on prom, and or the person you want to take you on prom, why you still so mad, right? And maybe they were done wrong. Maybe they got the prom dress and everything. The guy didn't show up. Well, you may say, well, I didn't want to go on prom anyway. It may not have been that big thing to you. Maybe you had 3 or 4 people that wanted to take you to prom. So you don't look at it as that bad because, you didn't just wear your color. That's the only thing you had on your prom date that messed up. But this other one got stood up on on their prom date. So it's a different scenario, even though you all now 38 years old, 40 years old. So you can't just get over things. You got to get healed from things. And a lot of times when we are dealing with people and people make us upset, one reason why we angry because we never got an apology. And, why didn't mama tell me she was sorry? Why did dad tell me he was sorry? Why didn't your grandma or boyfriend, girlfriend, or whoever, right? Why didn't they tell me they were sorry for what they did to me? So here's something that I had to learn for myself and had to accept for myself, that most times you're not going to get apologies when people hurt you. Sometimes people even know they really hurt you, like you said they hurt you. Because sometimes we don't say things, right? We don't say, hey, you hurt me when you didn't take me out, right? Or whatever it may be, right? So we may get a little offended, but we don't say anything. And the person don't even know you hurt by it. 20 years have passed, y'all not even friends anymore, or so to speak, y'all haven't talked to each other, moved to a different state. But you're still hurt by the fact that they didn't take you out that Thursday night. Well, what you end up doing, you said, that's okay, the next person's going to pay for this. I know he did it or she did it, but I can't make them pay back. But you, the next person that come along, you going to pay for what they did. And so now all we do is take these things from one person or one situation and bring them to another. So I had to get pretty good at forgiving, because at one time in my life, I'm kind of stuck because I'm mad at people. I'm mad at what you did to me. I'm mad at what you said to me. I'm mad on how you made me feel about myself, right? So since I'm still mad at you from high school or at 25 years old, 32, and you 20 years old and that stuff, right? You're still mad at those people because you haven't forgiven those people. So I know sometimes forgiveness is like, yeah, you just have to forgive people. And on the surface, it sounds so simple, but I'm here to tell you, forgiveness can be kind of hard sometimes, right? And I had to learn how that forgiveness is done in stages. And, when you just hear somebody say, just forgive them, and forgive them, how I gonna forgive you? Now, that sounds good in theory, but I'm mad at them still, right? They took all my money. I got scammed, right? They took all my money. And and ended up losing my house and everything because I gave that money to those people and they scammed me, right? Well, see, what happens is in life, we have people that scam us in life, not just financially. They scam us emotionally. They scam us physically. They scam us mentally. They scam us spiritually. So when you have all this going on, all these scams, see, could you imagine that every year you got scammed out your money? Now, after about 5 years of this, you mad, everybody, because you keep losing houses and cars and all these different things. You homeless, and all these things because you got scammed out your money for the last 5 years by 5 different people. So let's use that as an example. How about if one year you got scammed by someone physically? Then the next year you got scammed by a different person emotionally. Then the next year you got scammed by a different person mentally. Then the next time you went, you got all these problems. You said, I'm going to go to church. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, go to church. Then you go to church and then they scam you spiritually, right? Then you say, man, I just been scammed for the last 4 or 5 years. So you mad, right? You mad at everybody because you got scammed. Now you like emotionally, morally bankrupt because you got scammed by all these different people. And so now it's hard to feel good about yourself. Now you think maybe everybody's just supposed to walk over me. Maybe I just, I'm not supposed to have any money. I'm not supposed to be physically right. I'm not supposed to be spiritually. So now you almost got your guards up all the time with everybody. Because of the fact that, why? Because you've been scammed in all these different areas. So I had to learn how to forgive people in 3 phases for myself. This is what helped me. So, when somebody say, you need to forgive them, right? Because you're angry. Because the longer you stay angry, this is really nothing but hurt. Suppressed hurt turns out to be expressed anger. And this is how we just go off on folks. Because we hurt by what someone did to us, how they made us feel. Remember, self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. So people make us feel a certain way, and we suppress that hurt. So I'm over it, I'm good, whatever, I'm cool, whatever. But the hurt is still there, and then eventually it comes out as expressed anger. We express it angrily to all type of people at the grocery store, wherever we may be, right? Because we're mad. So this is how I learned about trying to forgive people, because it was kind of hard for me to forgive you because I'm still waiting on my apology, right? I know we were we're 10 years old, right? I know we're 40. Where's my apology, right? And you see this all the time on talk shows and all these different things on television. And the person said, "Look at me now. You know, I was a chubby kid when we were in school. I was a little fat girl, and then you see me at 30 years old, and look at me now. Look at my figure." And the person, you see the person looking at them like, "Well, we was in school. We was talking about each other. That's what we do, right? I mean, I'm 16, you 16. We talking about you were fat back then." But that hurt the person so much because they didn't feel good about themselves. So now these people are separated and went their different ways. So this person's in the health club, getting in shape and everything because of how that person made them feel at 16, right? So how do you forgive people? So this is how I had to do it. I remember there was a time in my life I was mad at someone. I say angry, I was mad, okay? I was mad at somebody. And every time I thought about them, I was still mad. I was still mad at them. I'm not supposed to forgive a man, but these people got me P.O. I mean, I am mad at them. So every time I thought about them, this is what I had to use myself. I had to keep telling myself, every time I thought about them, I forgive them and call their name out. I forgive them, right? I forgive them. Now, I don't know how long I did this. 6 months, a year, I don't know. After a while, I really did actually forgive them. But I thought about them, I wasn't as upset with them anymore, right? Because of the fact that I was still waiting on my what? My apology. I was waiting on that. Give me my apology. Tell me you sorry, right? But here's what I realized. You're only going to get an apology probably 10% of the time from people. 90% of the time, the people that hurt you and all sorts of go on, you're probably not going to ever get an apology from it. They may die, they may move to another country, move to another city, and never say, "I'm sorry." They may never apologize. Because, for one, most people think they're right about everything anyway. So, you crying all night had nothing to do with me. That's how people look at it. That's your fault, not my fault. But it did have something to do with me crying all night. But, so you have to realize, and I started accepting the fact that I'm not going to get apologies from people, right? And so, every time I thought of them, I said, "I forgive them." Well, then it eased it off, and I was able to kind of move on from that situation a little bit easier because I forgave them. Well, I realized in forgiving, there's 3 phases. One phase is you and I get into it. I do something to you, you do something to me, right? And then a week later, a month later, whatever, the next day, I say, "Hey, I apologize for doing that to you, stepping on your toe." And you say, "I apologize for stepping on your toe," right? So we know what each other has done. So we forgive each other because you know and I know what you did to me, right? That's a simple stage of apology or forgiveness. Then this is part you got to forgive on another angle that sometimes people do things to you. They know what they did, but they don't know you know what they did. See, and this happens a lot of times when people say things and do things to you. They don't think you know what they did to you, right? So they think they got away, but see, you have to forgive them based on the stuff they don't know what you know, right? So this is what happened to me. I had a situation and people were actually saying some derogatory and doing some derogatory things that I knew they were doing. They didn't know I knew they were doing it, but I knew. So I had to forgive them even though they didn't know that I knew. But I had to forgive on another level. So that let me know that, okay, I forgive people on another level. Well, after I thought I was pretty good at that, because life always challenges you and tests you on the next level, right? Then I was in a situation, and, I forgave this person, still cordial with the person and everything. And then 20 years later, so to speak, someone told me what these people had said and done to me. Now, before they told me what they had said and done, it was all like a lie. So I'm like mad because that's not what happened, right? I want to defend myself, avenge myself. I want to do all these different things. Oh man, I went off. Now keep in mind, the situation happened 20 years prior. Now I didn't know they had said and did all that stuff 20 years ago and kind of let that lie go or let that thing go for 20 years. But when I hear it, I'm like, all these years I've been protecting you from what you said, what you did, and you said all that about me. Oh, I'm mad, right? So what I realized, if you'd asked me before that happened, did I forgive that person? I told you, of course I do. Yeah, I forgive them. Yeah, it happened 20 years ago. I'm good. I'm over it. But when that situation arose, I realized I need to forgive them on another level because now I found out some of the stuff they did to me, I didn't know they did it to me. right? So now, after that happened, I'm mad. Again, anger impacts your self-esteem. Anger impacts how you feel about yourself. And see, so when we deal with a bunch of loveless people, the people that love themselves the least will hurt you the most. And so now, if that's the case, then I'm meeting all these people throughout my life that love themselves the least, and they hurt me the most. So now, guess what you feel after a while? Remember the example I used about scam, you being scammed, this year, next year? Now you start saying, what's wrong with me? Why am I so bad? Why am I so messed up? How come I'm not good enough? So now you start saying all this stuff about yourself because you feel badly about you. Now, somebody said, no, that never happened to me. Okay, that's cool. So this is not for you, right? It's for the people that actually live life and felt to look bad about themselves one of these days that they're living. This is what happens in the life for real. So now what happens is, you've been scammed, using my example again, you've been scammed spiritually, you've been scammed physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, every other way you can think of, you've been scammed all these different ways. So now you are so love-starved, it's ridiculous, right? Man, anybody that love me, please, just love me. Please, please, please. I'm please, just love me. Can you love me sometime? I mean, on the weekend, love me one day out the month. Just love me, please, right? Because we really, all that life that we had, because love is life, right? You get more love in your towards you from people, you can get more life in your life as well. So what happens now, we're love starved. Now we're in this place where we're love starved and we're feeling bad and poorly about ourselves. And since we put ourselves in this place where we needy. And what we want people to do, we become so stressful to other people. So since we become so stressful to other people, what happens is we say, listen, would you love me for me and you, please? And at first, some many people will come into our lives and be like, yeah, I'm going to love you because you pretty. I'm going to love you because you handsome. I'm going to love you because you got a nice car, nice house, nice body, right? But after a while, they can't love you anymore because they all tapped out because all you did was drain them of the actual love of life that they had in themselves. So we have to love ourselves. There's nothing wrong with needing help. Now, I want to clarify that. There's nothing wrong with needing help from people. There's nothing wrong with needing help from a husband, a wife, a significant other, children, parents, best friends, cousins, the church, or whatever, right? It's no bad thing to need help, right? What happens is that we end up getting in these places where we just almost like whatever we can. And then it's one of the precursors or the gateway to have us start doing more damaging things to ourselves because we're so angry, and then we think about it and we think about how we've been scammed in so many ways. Then what happens is you put yourself in a situation where you start being mad. So you got, I use the example of being stabbed in the heart and being cut on the arm. Some people, they might be in church and they get hurt by the people in church, right? And then people in church say, you can't be getting mad at me because, whatever. But see, they can't get mad at you. See, here's something I realized, something we always say. Don't take it personal, right? Somebody do something to you, so don't take it personal. Now, that makes a lot of sense if the person doesn't know you personally, right? You walk down the street and somebody do something to you, they don't know you, you don't know them. Well, I guess to a certain degree you can say, well, I shouldn't take it personal. They called me your name, right? But when it's somebody that you know, and you're in a relationship with, or you friends with, or whatever it may be, a family, and then they say, I'm not going to invite you to the party, right? And you say, why they not going to invite me to the party? Because they made an invitation list, right? They invited him, her, him, them, but they didn't invite you. And you would say something like, somebody said, oh, don't take it personal. That's just how they act. No, that's personal. You have to take that personal because they personally left you off the invitation list. So instead of lying to yourself saying, don't take it personal, they didn't mean it. Yeah, they did mean it. They had a list of 10. You weren't on that 10. They deliberately left you off the list. That's personal. So this is the suppressed hurt that we have. Well, they didn't mean it. I'm not going to take it personal. Now you got the suppressed hurt you haven't dealt with. Then a couple of years later, 5 years later, 10 years later, here comes this anger. You just unleash it out on everybody. It's like you just vomit on people, right? Because the suppressed hurt that you had when you were on this list, you were on the list of the 10 people, and they deliberately left you off the list, then you try to act like nothing happened. But the thing is, something did happen. And this is why you have to start forgiving people and kind of walk in this forgiveness. But you can't wait on apologies, because the reality is you're not going to get them all the time. And sometimes, this may sound somewhat negative, sometimes people die. Sometimes people that hurt you, they hurt you 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever, and they died. You didn't know they died. You find out, oh, what happened to him? So, man, he died 10 years ago. You're like, oh, man, that dude, man, he took all my money out of bank, right? But now you definitely know you can't get an apology from him. He gone, right? So this is why you got to get good at forgiving, because forgiving affords a way for you to live a better life. See, forgiving is not so much for the other person as much as for you. When you don't forgive other people for some of the stuff they've done, you're in this place where you stay stuck. You stay right where you are, and you won't grow any further because you won't feel good about yourself, and you're going to love yourself less. And then you got all this hurt, and you're going to express it in more anger. Then you're going to have babies. They ain't have nothing to do with this. You just had sex and had this baby. Now you mad at the baby. And the baby didn't have nothing to do with what that person did to you. But you, because this hurt was never healed, and this is why you always hear me say on this show several times, I say, get you some help. If you need you some help, it's not if. You need you some help. So get you some help. Now you may say, how do I get help? How do I find help? I mean, who do I go to? If you got to get you a book to start off there. Because this is what normally happens. If you don't go out and seek out help and get it, you're going to seek out something trying to numb yourself from the pain that you feel. And this is how we get caught up in alcoholism. This is how we get caught up in drug addiction. This is how we get caught up in sexual, relationships that we shouldn't be in. This is how we get caught up in all this different stuff, all because we just want to address some hurt that we have by seeing a therapist or seeing a counselor or reading a book. I mean, for me, one of the cheapest ways to help me get better, now you shouldn't really use cheapest, I should make least expensive ways, was to get a book. As you go on, you realize you have more issues. I don't care how good you think you got. You're like, dang, something else. Dang, another one. But that's okay, because that's just helping you get yourself better. But see, if you don't address this thing, instead of you spending $20, $30, $40 on a book or a class or a counseling session with someone, you're going to spend $20, $30 on a fifth. You drink the fifth, humping in yourself, cursing people out, because because this stuff is going to come out of you. And sometimes we get nice and drunk, get nice and high, we get our courage juice in us. Oh, we're going to tell you off. Mama, I ain't never like you. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because now we got our courage juice in us. Mama, I couldn't stand when you made me eat all those greens, right? Because now you got your courage juice in, right? You're ready to go off on them, right? Because now that suppressed hurt has turned into expressed anger, and now hurt people do what hurt people do. They hurt other people. And how often do they hurt other people? All the time, because they're a hurt person. So when you start loving yourself more, you start forgiving yourself more. Because a lot of times, like I said a little earlier, we're mad at ourselves. I know most of the time when I was quote-unquote angry at others, I was really angry at me. Sometimes I stayed around in situations too long. I was notorious that, okay, I forgive you, but then I still roll with you, right? I would still hang out with you. Even though you just slapped me upside the head with what you did, I got a big old bandage on my head because you slapped me upside the head, and then I come right back tomorrow, and we out there rolling again tomorrow. Then you slap me on the side of the other head, and I got two big old bandages on the head, but guess what? 2 more days, I'm rolling with you again, right? And see, this is what I had to learn. Just because you forgive people don't mean you have to keep messing with people. You can forgive people because if people still the same way, you can't let them stay in your life to make you feel bad. You must get further away from them so you can feel better about you, even though you're still forgiving them. Forgiveness is how you exhibit love in a different way. And see, once you understand that, but you can't exhibit love in a different way if you don't love you. This is why I keep sharing with you. You got to tell yourself every day, I love me, I love me. You got to say that, you might say it more than once. You might say it 10 times, I don't know. But one thing you need to do, you need to say it more often so that you can love yourself more, so that you can get yourself out of some bad situations, get yourself around some people that love themselves less. Because again, what I said a little while ago, People that love themselves less, it's going to hurt you more. And the most hurt you get from people, and it's based on the fact that they love themselves less. Because see, now they're saying things to you. They're doing things to you that's hurting you and making you feel bad. And see, when you understand that your self-esteem is how you feel about yourself, your feelings, your emotions, all these different things. Because see, here's the thing. When someone do you wrong, we use that example of scamming, right? You can't unsee it. You can't unfeel it. You can't unhear it. Once somebody said you're stupid, the parents say to the child you stupid, or the spouse say to the other spouse, you dummy, you so stupid, you a stupid husband, stupid wife. You can't unhear that. That's been said. And now the feeling is there. He called me stupid. She called me stupid. He said I'm ugly. Said I'm too fat, right? You can't unhear that stuff, right? So this is why you got to get healed from it. But you can't keep hanging around those same people calling you fat every time you see them. Every time they see you, they call you fat. I know you Uncle Joe, right? You Uncle Bobo, whatever you are. But you know what? I'm going to have to stop visiting you, right? Because every time I come around you, you make me feel bad. And I know people say, no, people can't make you do anything. They can't make... Yeah, when someone keeps talking about you, calling you names, or treating you bad, it adds a feeling to it. And if you don't understand and say, well, no, they can't make me feel bad. Okay, if I push you down or hit you upside the head with a skillet, you can say all you want. Well, I don't feel bad. They can't make me feel bad when your head hurting. You hit upside the head with a skillet. You're going to feel bad. That's the same thing that happens when we get around regular people and they're doing things to us. Our thing is we never go ahead and forgive the person. And sometimes, you just have to forgive them and love them again from a distance so they won't hurt you again. It's like this. These guys, they live by these alligators, right? And every time they looked up, man, alligators biting folks, man, but they live right by the little swamp. But the alligators keep biting people and all this stuff, right? So somebody came with this brilliant idea and said, why don't we move a little bit further away from the swamp, right? But this other guy said he's going to pray that the alligators act right? No, man, we're just going to pray, man. We're going to stay right here and live where we live, even though alligators keep coming up to the yard, biting stuff and everything. I got a foot missing and everything. But we're going to stay here and pray, and let God do everything else. But the other guy said, no, I think we should move further away from the swamp because the alligators only come up so far, so we can, quit getting bit by the alligators. So the guy said, no, I'm staying right here. Every time you look up, man, this guy getting bit, man, by these alligators. Alligators in the jar. The other guy went on and moved. And he moved further away from where the swamp was, and he didn't see alligators after a while because he moved so far away from the swamp. Here's the example I'm using. Some people, they're nothing but alligators. They're going to bite you every time they get a chance. They're going to make you feel bad every time they get a chance. And you say, well, no. I got to stay around them. That's my mama. No, I can't move and get away from the swamp. That's my daddy. No, you don't understand. That's my son, my daughter. Man, that's been my best friends in 4th grade. I can't move away from the swamp. You got to accept the truth. That's an alligator. And alligators going to bite you up. They're going to eat you up and everything. So your job is, you keep hanging around the swamp. You can't get mad at the alligator because he keep biting you. You got to go ahead and say, move away from the swamp. But here's what we want to do. We said, I'm no punk. You're not going to make me move, right? But wait a minute. It's an alligator. They do what they do every single day of the week. They don't plan on changing. Matter of fact, they got bigger. They got more alligator, so to speak, right? They acting more like an alligator. They're a stronger alligator because they keep biting people like you, right? So they just getting bigger and bigger. But you think, no. They're not going to be an alligator. They're going to turn into a puppy dog. I just know it's going to happen because I prayed. And I believe that alligator, that person acting like alligator, they're going to change. They're going to change. I just know what God can do. Well, I know God can do too. You know what? And I know he ain't make no stupid person. So you know what I started how to do? I started packing up my stuff, getting it, and moved away from the swamp. I got away from the alligators. Now, I found out 5 years later, 10 years later, hey, what that alligator doing down there? He's still biting people. He's still eating people up, right? He ate up Joe, did he? Yeah, and Jay. Yeah, I'm glad I moved. That's what he does. That's what she does. So when you start loving yourself more, you start putting yourself in better positions so that people will be in your space to make you feel badly. You start putting yourself in position to make sure that you can do the best you can to feel the best you can about you. Now keep this in mind. Everybody's not going to think you all that. I know you think you're all that, and you probably are that, right? But everybody else won't think you're all that, and that's okay. Nobody on the planet, nobody on the planet walking around and everybody like them. If everybody like you, something wrong with that. You know, I don't know what they're called, but you don't need that type of scenario thinking that that's going to happen for you. You're going to be around certain people, and sometimes people, because of what they heard or think they know all these things about you, right? And this happens a lot of times in what I call group thinking. You know, you part of the group, part of the club, part of the sorority, part of the fraternity, part of the church, part of the co-workers at the, and see, they all get together, and because you look nice, and this other person overweight, they mad that you could look nice, right? You don't even know what's going on. You just trying to go to work and come home, right? That's all you're trying to do, right? But they have an issue with you because maybe your hair longer, maybe it's shorter, maybe you light skin, dark skin, whatever, tall, short, whatever it may be, and these people will start making up stuff about you, right? You came in, had a bad day one day or something like that, so they say you got a bad attitude, you mean. But that's not the case. You just probably had a bad day, your car stopped on you coming in. You running late, you know, your kids start acting up at home, right? You move something around in the house. Things happen. And so what happens is you got to get away from people that's trying to destroy you. And that's something that it took a lot for me because I had this thing that I'm going to prove to you that I'm tougher than what you're talking about. And after a while, I got tired. I got tired of proving myself to people, trying to avenge myself. And when you're walking around mad, and when you get mad at people, now you want to pay them back. Now you can start thinking of ways to get some revenge. Right? That'd be nice. Yeah. If I run them over, yeah. I think all types of things, right? Because you want revenge because you want them to get paid back for what they did to you. And see, what happens is when you start walking around wanting revenge, you're loving yourself less. And this is why it's important to love yourself more and more to help you elevate over some of that negative stuff because it's going to happen. You're going to have people that's going to do some things that ain't right. You're going to have some exes, you know, you're going to have some new ones. You're going to have some people that a new job, a new church, a new city, a new state, new country. You're going to have this going on because the reality, I should share with you, a lot of people don't love themselves. So they're walking around angry. They're angry because of your color. They're angry because of your gender. They're angry with age. Angry because of where you live. You live in the north. You live in the south. They're angry for a whole lot of insignificant things. But because if you hang around with them with their anger, they're going to make you pay for what somebody else did to them. Because they feel inferior about who they are, and then you show up and make them feel more inferior about who they are. Because they haven't taken the time to love themselves, then that means that they mad at you and they lash out at you. So you have to start learning how to forgive yourself. And if you don't, start forgiving yourself. Because see, here's the truth of the matter. You've done some raggedy stuff too. Yeah, I know you said not me. Yeah, I know. You've done some raggedy stuff too. You did some things to some people too. Everybody just ain't done you wrong. There's some things you did to some people too. There's some stereotypes you ran off too. See, you did that too. So you have to start forgiving yourself for the stuff you did too. Because see, when you love you, you forgive you. And see, and if you start loving yourself more, you start forgiving other people more too. Again, it's not so much for them. I mean, forgiving the people is good for them. But you can forgive people that they don't even know they've been forgiven, right? You can still forgive them anyway because you still love you and you're trying to move on with your life. This is why a lot of people in life, they just plain old stuck. They are stuck right where they are. They have been mad at the company for moving to another country for the last 15 years. They've been mad at that boss. They've been mad at that boyfriend, mad at that girlfriend. Ex-boss, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend. They still mad at those people. And if you listen to them talk, they say, man, I could have made it big. I could have made it big if it wasn't for that woman. You said, what woman? Your wife now? No, my first girlfriend at 19 years old. Like, what? You still mad at her? I mean, you've been married to this other woman for 20 years. You're 55. You still mad at Jane at 19 for what she did to you in college? Come on. But see, some people, they still mad. They still hurt by that stuff. And so this is the stuff we take along with us all day, every day. And then we expect other people to be obligated and responsible to deal with that. Now, here's the reality. The older you get, you realize this. You got your own trash. You got your own garbage. Some stuff you haven't unpacked in years. You smell it, but you trying to act like it's not there. Right? So you have to deal with your own stuff that you have going on. Sometimes you don't realize how things impacted you or affected you until you get older. Something happened to you at 15 or even at 25 and you 45. You don't even realize how that impacted you. Like, hey, like, like, that's why I don't trust nobody. Because something happened at 25, so nobody else can get into your life because of what happened at 25. Now, in your mind, you say, I'm good, but you don't trust nobody. I mean, you got like your side eye on them all the time. You meet somebody, you like, give me your social security number. Check you out, right? And I'm not saying that you just getting with anybody, but now you start almost acting like the FBI with people. So when you graduated out of high school, and how long did you live in that house? And you're like, dang, that was 20 years ago. And what was your phone number at that house? And who's your mama's maiden name? You start drilling people. And you don't even know why you're doing it, but when you look back on it, something happened yesterday, last week, last month, last year. And you've been behaving this way from that time. And this is what happens a lot of times when we don't forgive ourselves and forgive other people. And this is what happened now. We are subconsciously allowing the opinions of other people rule our life. Now we're subconsciously letting the opinions of other people be our whole mentality, how our emotions operate, how we feel. Because here's something that's really, and if you think about this, it might happen to you, you might know some people that it happened to. A person said, well, I can't do this job because, if I start wearing this, my mama or the church or the daddy, they're going to say something about me. So mama, daddy died, right? Unfortunately, mom and dad died. And then we said, man, they just went buck wild after they died. And what ends up happening, we don't realize it because we live by the opinions of other people. I bet not wear that dress. My mama see me in that dress, she gonna call me all type of names. Mama died, leave the planet, man. First thing you do, next week you running out there butt naked because you always want to wear that dress, right? Because now you don't have the opinion of mama saying you act like a prostitute because you wear that dress on, all these stuff, right? But when mama was alive, no, you couldn't get no tattoo. No. Mama gone, daddy gone, or you move to a new city, a new state. This is what happened when we go off to college, right? Go off to the military. All this, nice guy, nice girl in high school. Boy, you go off to college, man, get away from mom and daddy, boy, you getting drunk every night. You doing all type of stuff, right? Because you're away from those opinions, so you can discover this whole new opinion about yourself, that you all this. So, but this is what happened when we live by the opinions of people. And if you keep that up, all you'll do is go transition from one group of people to another group of people, living by the opinions of other people. Then 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, you mad at how those people treated you, or mad at what you believe about those people. This happens a lot of times to people that's in the church world, right? They may have started off in church as a child, and then they've been through church for so many years in their adulthood, and then after a certain time, maybe they got a different way of looking at church, or maybe they've been hurt by church, or whatever, right? Hurt by this people. So now they just mad at everybody that say God. If you say G-O, right? You say, well, I'm just going to say God. But they mad because of the fact that they have been, what they feel, bamboozled or scammed out of their life. And so what happens is we're mad. We're looking at areas of our life where we've been scammed, and we know that we can't get that part back, right? I can't get that 25 to 30 years, 25, when I was 25 years old, when I was 35 years old, I was playing around with you for 10 years, so I feel like I lost part of my life messing around with you. So see, I'm mad because I stayed around for 10 years playing with you, right? Well, what ends up happening, here's what you have to accept. There's nothing you can do to erase yesterday. Nothing. I don't care if the person came back and said, I'm so sorry, I was the worst thing that ever happened to you, I apologize, here's $1 million check. It still won't erase those 10 years. It still won't erase what happened. This is why you have to get good at loving yourself and say, you know what? You might say, man, I don't know why I was with that guy. I don't know why I was with that girl. But that just show you where you were at the time. Stop being mad at yourself. Stop being mad at them. And then start growing and loving yourself and just realize that's where you were when you were 25. It might have been last week when you were 49, right? I don't know, right? But that's just where you were. And you don't get mad at those people because what ends up happening, the older you get, every now and then, good people going to cross your path. And like I used in sessions 1, how a person come with $100 worth of love, but you got this price tag of $43.17 on you. And so these people come in your life trying to give you all this love because the older you get, you realize something. You got less time left. When you're 20 years old, you think you're going to live ever. When you get 40, 50, you know, hey, man, this party could be over in another 10, 15 years. So now, then you start saying stuff like, life's too short. Be mad at you, right? Because it is too short. Because you don't know if you got another 50 years left when you're 50. You can say, I'm 50, I think I'm going to make it to 100. You might not make it to 100. But when you're 20, you say, I think I'm going to double my age. I think I can make it to 40. Pretty likely that you are, right? So as you get older, you start realizing it's no use to being mad at a whole lot of people. No use to being angry at a whole lot of people. So when you understand that, so you start forgiving people easily. And sometimes, I know in my life, I had to go back to some people and apologize. Hey, you know what? My bad. You know, I apologize for doing that to you. So I try to get good at apologize. Hey, you know, I messed up. Hey, my fault, right? Because I know life is short, and sometimes people do need an apology. And if you did somebody wrong, go ahead and apologize to them. Because remember what I told you, 90% of people that do us wrong probably won't ever get an apology from. So you're going to be refreshing just because you apologize. Again, that doesn't mean you're trying to get back with them, anything like that, or trying to hang out with them again. It just means that, you know, you acknowledge when you do some things wrong. Now, some people, just because you apologize, they still going to try to act like they still mad. But that's on them. See, the apology is what you can do. The forgiveness is what you can do. That's all in your control. Them accepting the apology or actually forgiving you or forgiving themselves, that's all within their control. So you can't control yourself and other people. Like I stated last session, you can't make people love you. You know, the song said, you know, you gonna love me, right? and you hear the song, you know, oh, that's a good song. When you listen to it, no, you can't make nobody love you. You can sing your heart out. You can do all you can. You can empty your bank accounts. You can empty sell all your stocks and bonds. You can take all your clothes off. You can do all that stuff. You cannot make a person love you. And if you act like that, then a year later, you're going to be mad. Right? Let's look at the word mad before I go out here. Mad is spelled M-A-D. Right? And if you turn it around, the word is damn. Not damn as a curse, but damn, D-A-M. And what a dam actually does, it slows down the flow of water at a river or wherever it may be. And it slows down the flow of water, but it distributes the water somewhere so it can actually propel generators. So what ends up happening when you're mad, because you know how mad, when you get mad, you think you can turn over a rock. You feel like you can, you know, who wants something? You want a piece of this, right? Because you have all this energy. So you have to look at being upset at people differently so that you can distribute that energy in other sources or other places that will be more beneficial for you. It's not so much being more beneficial to them, but so it can be more beneficial to you. So it can generate something else, somewhere else in your life that may be more positive. But that doesn't happen if you don't forgive yourself, and it doesn't happen if you don't love yourself. So you got to love yourself, so you forgive yourself, because just like you got over anger and you got forgave somebody today, hey, I'm telling you about life. Somebody going to piss you off in 6 months, right? 2 years. This stuff just happened. This is part of life. I know it don't sound that positive, but it's part of life. And you don't know how good positive thinking works until you approach a negative situation that you have to deal with. And this is why it's so important. So I said a lot, so let me get ready to close out, because my time is about winding down. I'm going to promote someone again here. And if you want to get promoted on the show, you can just get in touch with me at fullpurposemedia@gmail.com. And we can talk about, see what we can do. So, again, Mr. Emmett Farmer. And are you 65 and older or know someone who is in need of Medicare assistance? Mr. Emmett Farmer is a licensed life and health insurance producer and independent insurance broker. He can be reached at 773-908-9425 or efarmer2, E-F-A-R-M-E-R, the number 2, at ameritech.net. Again, Mr. Emery Farmer specializes in Medicare plans for seniors 65 and older. Also, if you are disabled and have Medicare, he can help you as well. He is licensed in Illinois, Texas, and in the process of being licensed in many other states also. Again, if you are 65 and older, or if you will become 65 within the next 6 to 12 months, contact Mr. Emery Farmer to learn more about your available options. Again, at 773-908-9425, 773-908-9425, or efarmer2, E-F-A-R-M-E-R, the number 2, at Ameritech.net, efarmer2 at Ameritech.net. You will also get a free consultation by mentioning that you have heard about Mr. Emery Farmer and his business here on the Greater You Show here on IntellectualRadio.com and the iHeart Station, the place where we feed your brain, and the host here, Dr. Anthony L. Gant, for a Greater You Show. So let me do a recap so we can close it out. So keep in mind that you can't stay angry. You got to start forgiving people. Forgiveness is how you forge your way, to live a better life. Forgiveness is for you more than it is for other people, right? You don't want to stay angry at yourself and angry at other people because, for one, life is too short. And you can't put yourself, just because you forgive people does not give you permission or doesn't make you responsible that you have to still hang around those people and be associated with those people at the same level. Really, you forgive those people because you love yourself more, and forgiveness is just another way of displaying the love that you have for yourself. Because if you want to keep growing, you got to love people. You got to love yourself. Love makes people grow. If you love people, then they should grow. If you want people to grow, you need to love them, right? Well, the same thing happens with you. If you want to grow, you need to love you. If you love you, you'll grow. And then you won't get stuck in places being mad at things for 5, 10, 15 years, or mad at people, or mad at yourself because you made some mistakes, or you been around some people that probably wasn't good or healthy for you. So with all that said and done, keep in mind that great people like you are born great. However, you need to keep working on yourself so that you can become a greater you. And I'll see you next time. All right, Facebook. It's been a ball, y'all. It's been real and it's been fun. Right, so I do appreciate you all being on here. You could have been doing anything, looking at anybody else, listening to anybody else, but you took the time to be here and listen to me, and I really do appreciate that. What I'd like you to do is go to IntellectualRadio.com, go there, hit the subscribe button there, and also hit the bell so that you can actually be notified of some of the shows we have going on. Well, not some, but all the shows that we have going on Sunday through Saturday. Again, appreciate you all. I see you Wednesday on the Greater You Show, a Great Business Skills Show, and I see you next Sunday on the Greater You Show. Thanks again. Y'all be good.
Are you good?